Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my googly-eyed friend, my brother from the same mother, Alex. How you doing, buddy?
What is up, people? What's up, my brother?
Nothing much, man. Hey, this is episode 23, the Michael Jordan episode.
The LeBron episode. Wait, what?
The Michael Jordan episode.
Why can't it be the LeBron episode?
Shut up, dude.
Well,
23. 23.
Yeah, he wore 23.
Yeah, but he also...
Actually, he still wears 23. Jordan doesn't wear 23 anymore.
Dude, you can't tell me that when you think 23, you don't think Michael Jordan.
I mean, I think LeBron.
I mean, you're nuts.
When we get to podcast 45, then I'll think of Jordan.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. This is the Michael Jordan episode. We've got to make it good. We should have worn our... Yeah, I'd like to see you try that. Man.
If you're not watching and you don't know what Ed's talking about, I just did the jump, man. I jumped like 6 feet in the air, legs spread out, hand in the air. You should watch it.
What do you think your vertical is?
About 3.5 feet.
No. When you try to jump, not just standing up, because you're about what, 5?
Yeah, I'm about 5'9", 5'10". I don't know.
Vertical? Have you ever measured your vertical?
I have no. At the combine back in my day, I did, but that was a long time ago.
You don't remember those stats?
No. I like to forget about that.
I have no vertical, as I have just now gotten off crutches. So I just got off crutches this week.
So I'm not gonna see you hop around anymore?
No more hopping around for me. My armpits are doing the dance of joy. My armpits are in heaven.
Now that's who's happy about that. The crutches are gone.
Oh my God!
Not you, the armpits.
My armpits. The bruises are finally starting to go away. The chafy spot is starting to heal and scab over. It's a thing of beauty. Well, not really, but you know what I mean.
I totally hear you. All joking aside, I'm happy to hear that because that's progress being made, and I don't have to see your ugly behind hopping around. Yeah,
no, it is progress. It's still slow. I still got a ways to go after that. Come to find out, they call it microfracture surgery I had, which sounds like they're breaking shit, not fixing stuff, right? Microfracture.
Well, you're walking, so they fix something.
They fix something. It is better. I'll tell you what. We were talking last week about people coming up to you and talking to you about being on crutches and stuff. I found out it's just as bad when you get off crutches, right? Because now it's people that know me, right? People that have seen me over the last 6 weeks. They're like, "Hey, man, you're off crutches," and I'm like, "Yeah." How you feeling? When are you gonna start running again?
Dude, I just got off.
Yeah, my rehab consists of pedaling on a stationary bike with no resistance. I'm like the old people at the YMCA. Like I go to the YMCA and my I don't do any real weights.
Right.
I don't the treadmill. I can only walk. I'm not allowed to run yet. And the stationary bike with no resistance. So when I get off, the wheels keep spinning. That's how freaking light it is. So I'm literally like the 85-year-old person at the Y that everyone knows. And people are like, "How you doing? And I'm like, "Man, look, I'm still not doing real good. Leave me alone."
Well, now you're famous. Now more people know you and they'll come up to you.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still a long road to hoe. It's tough, but whatever, Hey, look, it's baby steps. It's baby steps, and I think the good thing about this whole process has been, we talked about this before with the positive running segments. Wherever you are, whatever you're training to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? You're pushing yourself and you're trying to get somewhere. Right, and we talked a lot about our attitudes, about our dedication to what we're trying to do, and things like that. And the good thing is, I've learned that all of those skills and all of those things that I did to be a good runner, or to be what I determined to be a good runner, to be successful at what I wanted to do running, I've transferred over to this rehab process. Right. And it's the same thing. I have bad days and I have good days, but at the end of the day, I keep pushing myself forward, and I keep doing the rehab, even though it's insanely boring. Like, my son looks at me and he's like, "Dad, you're not doing anything. That's worthless." Like, what are you doing? And it feels, when you've done more, it feels terrible, right? But that's what you have to do, and you just have to keep working along. At the at the risk of hearing from our cousin, you got to trust the process.
Yeah. It's just being patient, really.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, especially for you, it's probably easier to get impatient.
Oh, it's
You know?
it's insanely easy to be impatient.
Yeah.
In fact, I dare to say it's totally natural.
Yeah. Runs in the blood.
Oh yeah, I don't have to work on my impatience at all.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky that way. All my life I've been impatient. So
Anyway, what do we have, man? Where are we starting off?
look, man, all I have done, I have been, oh God, I have gotten nothing done at work.
You too.
These soccer
You still
games,
have a job.
barely.
Okay, good.
Barely.
Well, that's good.
The only thing that's bailing me out is that no one else in the office is doing anything, right? Like everyone's doing nothing. Everyone's watching the soccer games. The World Cup, man, it's been great. So we're in the group stage, right? 8 groups. They play 3 games, right? Because there's 4 teams in each group.
Yeah.
Every group has played 2 games.
Right.
And so now we're starting to get a picture of what's going to happen, who's going to go through. Before we go into that, it's been 10 days now of the World Cup.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite moment the first 10 days of the World Cup?
Watching teams that probably didn't have, from a fan's point, as myself, not having a chance to advance.
Right.
I think that's been pretty cool, right? Because normally, the big names, those are pretty much solidified. Yeah, they're gonna pass. Well, shoot, now you don't. It's pretty wide open. This has been one of the most wide open World Cups that we've had in quite a few years.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed that. Just watching
I have too.
watching the all the surprises.
Yeah. The
about-
single moment that I've enjoyed, I think the most was, and this is kind of a terrible thing in a way, but did you happen to watch the England-Panama game this morning?
No,
The final score was 6-1.
it was close. That was close.
No, it was not. It was a blowout. Panama scored. The score was 6-0 when Panama scored, and I didn't realize this. Panama didn't score in any of their friendlies leading up to this World Cup.
Wait a second. Oh, they're friendlies. Okay.
Right. They hadn't scored a goal since November.
Holy cow.
When they scored, I thought they won. When they showed their fans went apeshit, and I thought that was great.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. It was a nice goal too.
Yeah.
A cross, and the guy slid in and just caught it off his toe. But the fans went bonkers. Even the English fans were looking around like, "Why are they so happy?"
Damn. That's
But-
a long time without a goal.
That is a long time. That is a long time. My other favorite moment of the first 2 games, that Spain-Portugal game, was an instant classic.
Oh, yeah.
It lived up to the hype. It was everything we wanted to see, and it was great.
We could potentially see it one more time, depending on, right? Because they're in the same group, so
Yeah, but I think you wouldn't see it again until the final. Because
Right.
what they do is the first place team from every group, they do this. The first place team goes to one side of the
Yeah.
bracket. The second place team goes
right.
to the other side.
Well,
of the
still, I think
I wouldn't
that
mind.
would be-
I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
No,
I mean,
absolutely
it was
not.
a 3-3 thriller. Ronaldo lived to every bit of the hype, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, that's the equivalent to a game-winning shot by LeBron James in the playoffs.
Or Michael Jordan.
I guess. All right, so
What was the worst moment?
what was the worst
Or
moment?
what's the one thing you haven't liked over the? You know what mine's gonna be.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't. I mean, I've watched every game. You'd think I would have one, but I don't know. One doesn't really pop out.
Oh, for me, it's the VAR.
Oh shoot! Oh wait, it's the goalie from Argentina.
Oh,
He gets dumbass of the day
oh my god.
or the World Cup.
Well, the goalie from Spain let in a soft one too.
Yeah, but this one looked even more pathetic.
Oh, that was.
Because you can argue that the ball has some top spin and whatever. It's hard to judge the
Yeah.
speed of the ball. The what's his name? Campero?
Caballero.
Okay, yeah.
Willie.
Caballero. Horse.
Willie.
Yeah.
You
Nah.
can't trust a guy named Willie to be your goalie.
Unless you're Willie Nelson.
Do you want him being your goalie? Have you seen Willie Nelson lately?
I don't know. He's He'd probably be a better goalie, high and everything.
He's not moving too fast these days. Yeah, that was a gaffe of the first degree.
But to your point, the VAR needs to be banned from the World Cup.
You know what kills me
It's annoying.
What kills me is the announcers over and over again saying, the VAR works, the VAR works, the VAR works. Yeah, it does work. The problem is that you're using it whenever you deem that you want to use it. There's no consistency to when you use it. I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. And I told myself I wasn't going to get into the VAR, but I just couldn't help it. This is one of the things that really, really gets under my skin. If you want to use the VAR, I dare you to use it on every single corner kick, and we will get 9-7 soccer games. Use it on every corner kick. You'll call a penalty every time.
Yeah. And to add to that, there was I can't remember the game. There's been so many games, I don't even know. I forgot. But there was a play where they should have used the VAR, and they didn't use it. And the first thing I said was, the VAR, use it. And the referee just said, play on. So I just don't like that. I don't like it.
The other thing that this World Cup brings to mind, I'm going to change subjects because if I talk about the VAR, my ears are going to get all red, and I'm just gonna be comfortable. The other thing that the first two games of the group stage has really brought to light, they really should not add 16 teams to this tournament, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to get more of these 6-1 blowouts, which, this 6-1 thing, it really messes up the integrity of the game. If England had won 6-0, right, which they very easily could have, if they'd have won this game 6-0, they would have had the advantage against Belgium going into the last game to be first or second in the group.
Right.
And so you're basically turning it into a goal fest. And some of these teams are going to come out and they're going to defend like crazy because they don't want to get blown out, but they're not going to try to score. And then once they're eliminated, they're going to say, screw it, and they're going to let in 5. And because goal difference makes a difference, pardon the pun, it's going to screw someone eventually. The other thing is, I don't want to see Saudi Arabia in the World Cup. No offense to the Saudis, but 5-0 against Russia?
It's not good soccer.
It's just not good soccer. It's child's play. In that England game today, they tried they basically did what's the equivalent of a schoolyard free kick with a couple of dink passes to do a free kick instead of really going for the goal, and they scored. It's just it really ruins the value of the soccer. And when they go to 48 teams, I don't know if you've looked at this, it's going to be 16 groups of 3. No. Not one team gets through. 2 teams get through. So you're going to add 16 teams, and you're going to only eliminate in the group stage 16 teams again. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And they're going to have a round of 32. Look, if you want to have an NCAA tournament type thing, do an NCAA tournament. Get 64 teams and have a team have to run the table and do 6 in a row.
Or just get all the countries in the world and have them participate. I'm down for that.
That's what they do now.
Seriously, that's exactly what it's turned like, right? The NCAA tournament, that's nonsense.
It is nonsense. And they're going to give, now this will make Americans happy, right? They're going to give CONCACAF 6 bids. 6. So this year, it was Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama, right? So that's 3. You got to believe the U.S. would be 4.
Well, they would have made it, right?
They would have made it. Who else would have made it? Trinidad.
Ooh.
And Jamaica. Oh, no, Honduras.
Yeah, soccer needs those 2 teams.
I mean, I realize why they're doing it. They're doing it for the package, right? The rights that they sell to Fox will make them more money. Fantastic. Ain't nobody want to watch Trinidad. Trinidad doesn't want to watch Trinidad in the World Cup.
Well, man, look, man, it's all about monetizing
Yeah,
right? So
I guess.
they got to shove that down our throats, and we got to live with it.
It's
I guess
terrible.
we'll get used to it.
I guess.
So which group? So there's a couple of scenarios right now, right? Like
There's some interesting stuff.
yeah, like the Mexico group.
Well, let's
With
start at the
Germany?
top. Let's start at the top.
Okay.
Right. So Group A has Russia, Uruguay, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Russia and Uruguay have not faced each other. They won both of their games against Egypt and Saudi Arabia, so they're through.
They're through.
Russia, by virtue of putting 5 on the Saudis, are technically ahead of Uruguay on goal difference. So with a tie, they would get the one. They would win the group,
Right.
go one way. Uruguay would go the other way. So Uruguay has to win, and why that's important, although not to me not that important in this case. Group A is paired up with Group B in the second in the round of 16. So we can go right to that group. Portugal, Spain, Iran, and Morocco.
Ooh.
Portugal and Spain are at 4 points. Iran at 3. Morocco is at 0. Morocco's out. Portugal and Spain with ties would advance.
So Iran has a chance.
So Iran has a chance. Iran, you ran, she ran. We ran. Or as they say, Iran.
Iran.
So they still have a chance, but
Yeah, they ain't.
they're not. I mean,
No.
they're not the caliber of these other two teams. It'll be Spain and Portugal. They have the same goal difference because they were only able to muster 1-0 wins against Iran and Morocco, respectively. So whichever one has the higher goal differential in this game against Iran and Morocco will be the one seed. Will be the winner of the group, and the other one will be.
Now Spain lost 1-0 to Iran, right?
No, they won 1-0.
They won 1-0. Would it surprise you if Iran made it in and say it was Spain and Iran?
It would shock me. They have to win. They can't make it through with a tie.
As crazy as this World Cup has been, man, I'm starting to think don't doubt anything.
No, and you know what's sad is Morocco outplayed Iran.
Yeah, they did.
They
Right,
totally outplayed
Yeah.
them. And Iran just got, just one counterattack and made it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Portugal and Spain
it's going
should
to be
take care of
Portugal
business.
and Spain. Which, by the way, Portugal and Spain, if they go through, I had Russia and Uruguay, and I had Spain and Portugal.
Did you?
So I'd be
Okay.
I'd be
2
4
2.
for 4
Yeah.
in that scenario.
Nice.
I don't know what you have because you're not going to tell me until after they play the games.
Well, there's another spreadsheet floating around
Somewhere.
with my picks.
I'll have to look at that one because I don't know. Moving on to Group C, that's the France, Denmark, Australia, and Peru. Man, and we'll probably touch on this again. The teams from South America and really from North America and South America have not represented themselves well. Uruguay is going to go through, but they have not looked fantastic against two teams that are really not that good in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. And now we come to Peru, and they have it's kind of sad. They're eliminated. They can't advance.
First World Cup, right?
First World Cup in a while. And I said this in the preview podcast.
Wait, forever. Isn't this their first one ever?
No. They've been to the World Cup before.
Okay.
I said this in the preview podcast. They had some problems with a gentleman who was about whether he was going to be suspended, one of their better players, be suspended, not suspended for the World Cup due to a doping violation, and they didn't find out until very late. And I thought that the lights would be a little too bright for them, and it's really turned out that way. So you've got France with 6 points, Denmark with 4, Australia with 1. The Aussies, man, the Aussies have played really, really tough, have played well. I wish there was a way you could give them another point because they deserve more than what they've gotten out of this World Cup so far. They've played really well.
Do they play Peru?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that group is pretty much... Denmark ties.
France is through.
Right.
Denmark is through with a tie. Australia need to win.
And Denmark lose.
And it's got to be by more than one goal. Actually, no. If it's by 1 goal,
What's their head-to-head? Denmark won.
no, the head-to-head they tied.
Oh, they tied?
They
Okay.
tied 1-1.
Okay.
So then, I think, yeah, if Australia wins and Denmark loses, then it goes to goals scored because their goal differential would be the same, unless
They both scored 2 goals.
Right. But right now the goal differential is Denmark +1, Australia -1. So if Australia wins by 1 and Denmark loses by 1, they'd be even and it would go to goals scored. A 1-0 Australia win, a 1-0 Denmark loss, and Australia would go through.
Wow.
So
That's pretty interesting.
yeah, it gets pretty interesting. The tiebreaker rules, for people that are wondering, it's so just to rank them, right? It's points, goal differential, and then goals scored. In the event that 2 teams are tied on points, they go to those. If they're tied all the way through, then they go to head-to-head,
Okay.
which is yikes,
Damn.
scary.
Hopefully one of the groups, it comes down to that.
Well, it can go all the way down to fair play points.
What the heck?
You don't know what fair play points are?
What about 4 VAR reviews?
Do you know what the fair play points are?
No.
Good. No one does.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. FIFA's just going to make it up. No, actually, you get, I think you start off with 10 points every game, and then you get points deducted for yellow cards, second yellow cards that turn into a red card, straight red cards, yellow and a straight red card, and there is also a provision for fan behavior.
Wow.
Yeah. So they deduct points, and then those are the points you get for the.
Well, if it ever comes out to fan behavior, Mexico would be out.
Yeah, they're going to be going. Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be pretty interesting in that group. I still think France and Denmark are going to go through. I think Denmark is going to do enough to tie, and unfortunately, Australia, one of the feel good stories so far of the tournament, because they played France really well, they played Denmark really well, which are the 2 best teams in that group. They deserve more, they really do. But I just don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately for them.
So who would they play out of the next group?
So Group C is paired up with Group D.
Because this one is pretty interesting also.
Group D is pretty interesting. So Group D has Croatia on 6 points, Nigeria on 3, Iceland and Argentina at 1. Okay. Croatia are through. Right. They play Iceland. Nigeria plays Argentina. So Nigeria, I think Nigeria is the only one that truly controls his own destiny. Nigeria with a tie would go through because they beat Iceland.
Right.
So with a tie, that would take care of Argentina. And then Iceland, the most they could do is match them on points head-to-head. Nigeria won.
Gotcha.
So that would be that. Where it gets really interesting is down at the bottom. Because if Iceland and Argentina both win, they tied head-to-head. So then it would go to goal difference. Right now, Iceland is a little bit better than Argentina on goal difference.
Yeah.
They're at a -2. Argentina's at a -3. So it is. It's a dicey situation.
Wow. So if Argentina ties 2-2, and Iceland ties 1-1.
Well, it wouldn't matter. They wouldn't have enough points
to pass
Nigeria.
Right.
So if Argentina wins 2-0,
okay,
and Iceland wins 1-0,
okay,
then they would be tied all the way across. Oh no.
Goals against?
No, then it goes by goals scored, and Argentina and Iceland are both sitting on 1.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's no way they can end up tied all the way across. Well, wait a minute. Is that true?
I kind of want to see that.
Tied
just
all the way across.
all the way through, and then they got to play one extra match.
No. Because after fair play, which no one knows about, you know what they do? They flip a coin.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. You
No
know how much
way!
money-
I would be
This
so
is a
pissed.
massive tournament, right? This is the World Cup. You do it once every 4 years. Hey, we'll figure out if you have a chance to win. Here, let me get my quarter out. Flip.
No way.
What would you pick, heads or tails?
I would pick. No way. They need to change that. They should have a penalty kick shootout, 11 on each team, and just fire away.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is they were playing in 2 different cities.
Well, you got to meet up halfway then. I'm sure there's private jets that
And they make them play at the same time so that no one knows what's going on in the other game exactly, and you have to basically go all out.
Yes, and you do it right after their games.
Maybe we can have a virtual PK shootout, right? You have the goalie. Hey, look, you could do it.
All right.
You have the goalie watching on the big screen.
Okay.
And the player watching on the big screen. The player runs up to kick it. If he kicks it to one side and it goes in, and the keeper goes to the other, you assume that if the keeper guesses wrong, it's a goal, and you assume that if the keeper guesses right, it's a block.
Right.
Do a virtual PK.
That would be cool.
I'm calling FIFA right after the show.
Or you fire up the Xbox One or the PS4 and you play FIFA and you settle it, damn it. That would be awesome. We need to pitch these ideas, damn it. Get FIFA on the phone.
No, I think the virtual PK thing would work. I mean, we got the freaking... We got a VAR. Why can't we have a
pronounce that again?
Yeah. Virtual penalty kicks.
Yes. The pick.
FIFA, we're coming to help you out.
Ban the VAR and bring in the pick. God, I feel like I'm straining my neck doing that.
Dude, one day we're going to see the...
Well, it's come down to the VAR.
Why can't we have a...
Yeah. Say that fast 5 times.
You know someone's listening to this going, what? Oh, God, what are you talking about? What are they trying to say?
Hopefully it's someone, that knows a little bit about soccer.
If it's a
regular...
If it's a regular old person... Can you see it now? Some guy from Alabama, some guy from Alabama, all he cares about is his Crimson Tide. This ain't football. What? And these boys, they got some kind of lisp or something.
Oh, they should play foosball.
That would be good too. I still like mine better.
Nah, because if they try to pronounce it, they gotta go.
It's not much different than some of those names.
True.
Right? All right. I mean. It's tough. All
right, so that Group D is up in the air. Besides Croatia, right? So the second spot is pretty much like it's the unknown.
Yeah, I mean, because you could see
either of those teams.
Nigeria played like crap against Croatia and played really well against Iceland.
Yeah.
So who knows what you're going to get with Argentina? And then with Argentina, you've got all of this talent that has played like crap. Right. So you don't know what you're going to get. And with Croatia and Iceland, what Croatia team are we going to get? I mean, do they care?
And Iceland, how much is that? Is that loss going to,
to Nigeria? Yeah. How much did it take out of them? That was a physical game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. That group, Tuesday afternoon, that'll be fun to watch.
Yep.
And you're not going to be working anyway.
More work not getting done.
That's right. Group E, you've got Brazil on 4, Switzerland on 4, Serbia on 3, and Costa Rica on 0. Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Costa Rica. I think this group is settled, to be honest with you. Look, Serbia is not going to beat Brazil.
No.
And Costa Rica is not going to tickle Switzerland. So, those two teams are already in the 1-2 spots, and I think they're going to go ahead and advance. There might be some drama as to who's going to be 1, who's going to be 2, but ultimately, people make a big deal out of that. I personally don't care. You're going to face another 1 or 2 on the other side, and look, they're all good teams.
They're all good teams, exactly. Yeah, I don't see much. I don't see Serbia. Yeah, it's Brazil and Switzerland will advance.
Switzerland looked good against Brazil.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a game. The first game, and then
so Costa Rica was the one. This is their first. Someone in this World Cup had their first World Cup appearance ever. It was either Peru or Costa Rica.
No.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay.
Again, another CONCACAF team that has just not done anything.
Who's that?
Costa Rica.
Yeah?
And, They kind of did.
Yeah,
They didn't
they've
even
done nothing.
They didn't even really try.
No wins, no goals, no points.
Yeah, I mean, they came out to basically just defend.
Yeah.
And they almost got away with it with Brazil. Brazil scored late, but again, these teams that come out to try to salvage 1 point because they know they're not good enough to play with a Brazil, you don't belong at the World Cup. And to think that they're going to go to 48 teams, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine.
That's exactly why they should not go.
Yeah, it's when you see teams like this that they go out and they try to play 90 minutes of frustration. Hey, what did you think of Neymar? I mean, just bawling after the game.
You mean crying?
Crying. I mean, I thought someone had kicked him in the ding ding.
Hey, man. Well, I think I would be feeling the same way if someone kicked me there.
Well, but the thing is, no one did.
Yeah.
They just won a soccer game.
It's the passion that he has for the game of football. I don't
worry.
know, man. I think,
I worry when I see a team do that.
You know what, man? I think when you think of top-notch, top-level elite players, he's not in the conversation of 1, 2. He's probably third, right?
Yeah.
And you always have Ronaldo and Messi being talked about, and I think that Brazil has pressure from the outside, and pressure, when I say the outside, I mean just like the general public and the country, and they put pressure on themselves after the horrible showing that they had last World Cup.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully now this doesn't work against them and they just don't, deflate themselves from performing.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the issue. I think they've put pressure on themselves to compete, and Brazil is when you think of World Cups, they're the leader, right? They have the most World Cups, and so I think they carry that pressure from themselves.
It really concerns me when I see a top team put that much emotion into a game. It's a group stage game. It's against Costa Rica. It took you 85 minutes to score a goal.
Yeah.
And then you break down into tears. That to me says you have emptied the tank, and it's hard to refill the tank. And I wonder if it's not going to hurt them. Maybe not the next game, but maybe the game after that, or the game after that. Because this is what people we forget about this in all the hoopla. You've got to play 7 games in 31 days. That's 1 game every 4 days. And although during the regular season you do that at times, you rarely do that over the course of 31 days. Usually you'll do that over the course of 12 days, maybe, right? Play 3 games in 12 days.
Okay.
But not you rarely do it for that long of a stretch. And I think when you empty the gas tank 7 days in, you got 24 more days to go, and potentially 5 more games. Man, that's a tough road dog.
Well, you know what? All the teams in this tournament are on the same schedule.
I know.
So
I agree.
I mean,
but here's the thing: if you had to empty out the tank like that in Game 2 against Costa Rica,
right,
you're not going to have it the rest of the way, right?
Well,
like England, after 2 games, is probably feeling much more capable of going 7 games in 31 days than Brazil. That's my point. I understand that it's the same schedule for everybody, but that takes something out of a team, and I worry. I worry that we won't see something disastrous later on, like we did at the last World Cup. They did the same thing.
Yeah.
They got into a very close game with Chile, and a couple of games later got absolutely destroyed by Germany.
I think it's more in regards to the pressure that they feel, and that they put on themselves. I think Yeah. So, but yeah, that's an interesting team, right, going forward, right?
Because very much.
They're most likely going to advance, and now you have to wonder how they're gonna handle it. And on to Group F, right, where you have Mexico with 6 points, Sweden and Germany tied with 3 points, and South Korea 0 points. You can kind of say the same thing about Mexico, right? They played balls out against Germany the first game, beat them. And, they showed a lot of emotion, too. And they bounced back to beat South Korea the second game to put themselves in the driver's seat. So
are they in the driver's seat?
They would play Sweden next?
Yeah.
Ooh, Well,
Here's the thing that's
wow,
interesting.
this one is.
Here's the thing that's interesting. If Sweden beat Mexico and Germany beat South Korea, depending on goal differences, of course, the most likely to come out of that group is Sweden. I think there's all kinds of permutations of how that would happen, right, with goal difference and such. But Sweden would advance. They have Sweden with a 1-0 win or a 6-5 win advances. All they got to do is win by 1, and they are through. Germany has the easier game with South Korea. Right. They have to win as well. But they could, South Korea's been okay, but South Korea could very easily get blown out.
Yeah.
And then Germany would skyrocket to the top of the group. So Mexico has, now granted, Mexico just needs a tie, but if they lose, they are the most likely to be eliminated.
To be out. And Sweden, let me tell you, man, Sweden is, they've looked like a dark horse.
Yeah,
they held their own this past game against Germany, and that's a fast team.
Yes,
they've always been fast, but they play very well.
And I'll tell you this: remember, they knocked out the Netherlands in the group stage of UEFA qualifying, and then when it was time for the playoff, you know who they knocked out? Italy.
Wow.
1-0 over 2 games.
Yeah.
So they know how to play a tough 1-0 game. I'm going to score, and I'm going to sit here and defend and dare you to come get it. And when you come get it, I'm going to put another one behind you. So now the only thing that I think plays in Mexico's favor, obviously all they need is a tie. But the other thing that plays in their favor, that Sweden-Germany game. That had to take a lot out of Sweden.
Yeah.
And, and then with Germany didn't play well against Mexico. They had to empty the tank against Sweden because that was a tough physical game.
It was.
Now they got to bounce back in a few days and admittedly against a lesser opponent.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy to win.
Yeah, it would be. I think it'll be easy.
Even South Korea has a shot.
Do they?
Yeah. If South Korea wins, let's just play devil's advocate here.
Oh, shit.
If Mexico beats Sweden,
right,
1-0.
Yeah.
And South Korea beat Germany 2-0. South Korea would be through.
Wow. I do not want to see that scenario.
It would be, as well as Mexico has played, it would be a shame if they didn't make it through. And let me tell you something. Fox would be so disappointed.
Riot.
Oh my God. Did you watch the Mexico game yesterday?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I thought we were in Monterrey. I mean, the announcer was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every Mexico shot, he was about to scream goal, and then South Korea's like, oh yeah, shot by South Korea.
Yeah, seriously, man, they better win or else.
I went to, what's funny about this stuff, right? So I've gotten so much flack because I don't have any Portuguese friends who I picked to go through. Mm-hmm. I don't have any Russian friends who I picked to go through. But goddamn, I sure do have a lot of Mexican friends who I did not pick to go through. I have Nigerian friends that I did not pick to go through. I am getting so much flack from people, especially the Mexican fans that I'm friends with, because, well, they are in the driver's seat. But it's like, man, why don't I have some Japanese friends? I picked Japan to go through. I have no Japanese friends. If Japan go through, I'm gonna take a video of my podcast and I'm gonna go to the nearest sushi place and try to make some Japanese friends.
Bring a TV.
Check out the Positive Sports Podcast. Speaking of which, we haven't given you any contact info.
No.
We'd love to hear your picks. If you want to email the show, if you want to reach us on the show, you can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com. positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Googly Eyes here next to me, you can reach him on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter as well at eMontana21. So let's move on to the next two groups. There's only 2 groups left.
That's it.
It's so much fun to go through this stuff. So you've got Group G. Belgium and England on 6 points. Tunisia and Panama on 0 points. Belgium and England are through.
Holy cow, they're tied.
They are completely tied.
Tied. Like
completely tied. In
every column.
Every single column.
Wow.
So they're going through for sure, and
Yeah.
they play each other in one of the last few games here of the group stage. If it ends in a tie, it will come down to yellow cards. And right now, I believe Belgium has 3 yellow cards. England have 2. And of course, they may accumulate some more during that game. So if England gets a yellow card and Belgium doesn't, and it ends up 0-0, they're going to flip a coin to see who's first and who's second. That's not too bad, right? Because you're still going through. But and it's funny, they're even talking about, do you want to go through as first or second? Because you're matched up with the first, second from Group H, which no one cares about because Group H seems easy. But then you would play the winners from Group E and F, right? Which has Brazil and Germany.
Right.
So if Brazil go through first and Germany go through second,
you would have to play one of them.
they would play each other, and you would likely be playing a Brazil or a Germany in the quarterfinals, assuming you took care of whoever came out of Group H. And so it might be a scenario where you want to come through second, or you want to come. It's
I don't
ridiculously weird, but anyway.
At this point, I think the way this World Cup is going, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, no,
it's not like the NBA.
I think honestly, having the momentum of playing well is more important than who you're playing against, right?
I agree.
If the way England is playing right now, I don't think they're not afraid of Belgium for sure. They're not going to be afraid of Germany or Brazil either. And again, Tunisia at the World Cup, do we really need 16 more teams? Panama at the World Cup, do we really need 16 more teams in the World Cup? I mean, Panama is a very strong argument for not having any more teams in the World Cup. I mean, they don't belong in the final 32.
Nah.
Granted, that's partially because we did them the favor, but. And then the last group, Japan on 4 points, Senegal on 4 points. They played a thrilling 2-2 tie today. And
that was a good game.
That was a very good game. And then Colombia on 3 points and Poland on 0. Let's start with the obvious. Poland is done. They cannot advance. They will be playing against Japan in the final game, and Senegal will be playing against Colombia. Colombia won 3-0 today, and they got a goal late in the first half. And then when Poland really pushed, they counterattacked 2 more. So it wasn't a completely dominant performance, but they did a lot to boost their confidence, I think. And their leading scorer, Falcao, finally scored at the World Cup. Falcao is 32 years old. He's been scoring goals all over the world for the club for his club teams and for the select team for many years. But he had never scored at the World Cup. He missed a couple because of injury and finally got on the scoreboard today. And to see the way the team reacted to that, that's a very close-knit team.
That's pretty cool, man.
It is very cool.
Which might be his last World Cup, right?
Yeah, could be. He's 32.
Yeah.
And as a forward, 32 and being a forward, you don't get too many more chances. It's going to be really interesting to see that Colombia-Senegal match.
I think this group is going to finish exactly the way it is right now. Japan will take care of business with Poland, and Senegal is going to give Colombia some problems. I'm not sold on Colombia. That James Rodriguez has just this.
James.
I'm sorry, James.
I'll teach you how to pronounce stuff. Wait till we get to the virtual penalty. I'll teach you how to pronounce that too.
I don't trust Colombia here. I think I wouldn't. I'm not blown away by beating Poland 3-0.
Poland's been a disappointment, to be honest. We thought Poland would be better at the World Cup, but they came through UEFA qualifying pretty good, and much more was expected of them than what we got. Senegal handled them, I won't say easily, but they beat them.
Yeah.
They beat them pretty handily. It was a 2-1 game, but they were in control of that game most of the way. And today they just could not score against a Colombian defense that gave them plenty of opportunities, but they just couldn't do it. Japan's been my dark horse here. And I think they're going to go through. I think Poland will, I hate to say it, but I think Poland will mail it in and just say screw it. But I think I didn't think much of Colombia coming into this tournament, but something about the way they played today, and Senegal giving up the lead twice to Japan, just kind of makes me feel like Colombia might eke it out. That's not what I had initially. Initially, I had Poland and Japan coming through.
Okay.
But obviously, that Poland pick failed miserably.
Wow, so potentially you could have this group completely wiped out.
Yeah. Yeah, I could be completely wrong if Poland pull off. Well...
Yeah, right? Because if Poland wins...
If Senegal... no. Can Japan go through even if they lose?
Yes. Yes, they can if Senegal loses. But if Senegal wins... No. Oh, wait. Colombia and Senegal are tied.
If Japan loses and Colombia wins...
If Japan loses and Senegal and Colombia tie...
Then they would go through because they beat Colombia.
They beat Colombia. That's right.
Wow. Colombia have to win.
Yeah,
they have no
much.
choice. They can't make it through with a tie.
Yeah, they got to win.
Because if they end up tied with Japan, they wouldn't make it. So
I agree. They got to win.
Dicey situation. It'll be great. I can't wait. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, by the time we do our next podcast, they'll be into the round of 16.
The knockout stage.
They'll be into the knockout stage, and that's always exciting.
Oh,
where
man.
you just
the nerves.
Yeah, because
right?
it's
one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we won't get any teams in there that want to go and just play for penalty kicks, which it's always kind of disappointing when you get a team that goes out there and they're like, okay, we're going to try to defend for 120 minutes. See you guys later.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. We've seen that in the past.
Yeah.
Teams do that, so, what can you do?
Yeah, you got to find a way to break through.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to be the best game of the week here?
Senegal and Colombia. I think you're going to see a lot of hard playing on both sides. You might see two yellow cards from each, if not more.
I think it's going to be a cracking game.
Yeah.
The Belgium-England game, I think, would have been good if there was something to play for. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much to play for there. Look, that Mexico-Sweden game, I think, is going to be a big deal because Mexico. I think Mexico knows Sweden can beat them. That's one of those games where you can get any kind of crazy result. Man, I tell you what, I cannot wait. I can't wait. I love
this is
drama.
When it really gets good.
That Group D is going to be interesting on Tuesday. Yeah. Heck, even Group C, the Aussies, they'll be pushing hard to try to have something happen.
What's awesome is we get 4 games now a day for the last.
Yeah, but you get but you get them at the same. You get 2 at the same time.
That's fine.
So you can't watch them both.
Yeah, but on most of them, like in Group A, do you want to watch Egypt and Saudi? Probably not.
Well, no, yeah, on that one you don't. But but you want to watch the 2 in Group B because you want to see by how much is Portugal going to win, by how much is Spain going to win.
Oh, that's if you got a TV and you do split screen, then you're good to go.
Group C, you want to watch both games? I gotta
find out if my TVs at work have split screen. Damn.
That's right. If you're streaming. That's going to be a problem.
I'm not streaming, brother. I am watching on TV.
Oh, no, I'm streaming everything. I got 3 monitors in my office.
Did you go out and buy some?
No.
No, sorry. Don't worry, IT guy. This is personal.
No, we just have extra monitors, so I hooked up 3. It's amazing how much work done I can
You're
get
terrible.
Done with 3. Terrible.
Terrible.
At least I'm working. You're sitting in the break room watching it.
I'm working too in the break room.
Man, you can't be working in the break room.
Cell phone is forward, landline is forwarded, and my laptop right in front of me.
That's a good way to go.
Yes, sir.
I remember years ago during the World Cup, I was this was before they would stream it online. I worked at a place. We had a real live TV in the conference room.
Damn, you're old.
So I'd take my laptop into the conference room. And you couldn't get any channels except for local channels,
right.
And for some reason you couldn't get it on whatever it was on, NBC or ABC or whatever. So I had to watch it all on Telemundo. Perfect.
Especially
because because it was in Spanish, no one in my office wanted to come sit in there with me, so I could sit in there by myself and have the game on. It was awesome. The only time they came in there was when the Americans played, and then they asked me, "What are they saying? Who cares? Just watch the game."
And by the way, I 150% rather watch games on Telemundo in Spanish than on Fox Sports.
Yes.
No offense, Fox Sports, but
They say the ratings are better on Telemundo.
oh
than
yeah,
on Fox.
absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
Fox
more.
is terrible.
There's more enthusiasm in those goals scored.
It's not even the enthusiasm. It's the. I was listening.
Oh,
to,
no.
I was watching Fox the other day, and they made some comment about West Germany. It's like, hey man, it ain't no West Germany anymore. It's Germany. Step into the.
Yeah.
We're way past 1980 something, man. It's been Germany for
Seriously.
a grip.
Like 30 years.
I know. And that Berlin Wall just divided Germany in two. Not anymore, man.
Yeah, time to move on, man.
It's terrible. Terrible. Speaking of moving on, I think we've talked enough World Cup.
Man, we sure have.
Just for today, though.
We sure have. No, we tune in next week for some more World Cup.
If you follow us on Twitter, you'll know we're
Yes.
watching a lot of World Cup.
Yes, or on Instagram, Positive Sports Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow us, like our videos, comment, man. We want to hear some damn comments, really. Do we sound smart when we're talking soccer, or do we just?
You don't want to hear what people have to say about you.
Sure, why not?
Trust me, you don't want to hear it.
Why not?
It's not going to be pretty, bro.
Well, nothing wrong with a little talking smack. It's okay. It's all in fun.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is what we like to do. We like to talk about sports. All right, man. How about we go to shout-outs?
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up.
Let's wrap this thing up. My shout out this week.
You have a shout-out this week.
I have a shout out, yes.
Thank God.
So my shout out goes to Odyssey Comics and Cards. It's a comic book store with collectibles and all that. And the man that runs the comic book place, his name is Greg. He's been running it for about 10 years plus in Katy, Texas, which is...
Near Houston.
Thank you.
Just outside of Houston.
Thank you. It's on Fry Road and Sounds Road if you're in the Katy area and you are
Just outside of Houston.
and you are into collectibles. Check it out. Greg has been running the place for quite some time and is very well liked from the community. And he is currently in the hospital, but his daughters were opened up the store this past week, and they wanted to keep the tradition going. People were asking why was the store closed, and they kept this tradition going and just opened up the store. And I happened to be there that day, and I haven't been there in a while, so my shout out goes to Greg and his daughters for keeping the tradition ongoing. And if you are into collectibles and comic books and basketball cards, make sure you go check it out.
Well wishes to Greg, man.
Yep.
I hope you get well soon and get back to your comic book store. That would be great. My shout out goes to Jim Walmsley and Courtney DeWalters. They both won the Western States Endurance Trail race this weekend. It's just a little race. It's not a big deal. It's about 100 miles from Squaw Valley to Auburn in California. 100-mile race. They ran it. Jim won the men's division in about 14 hours and 30 minutes. Courtney DeWalters won it in about 16 hours and change. I forget what the exact number is. But just amazing. 100-mile race. And if you know anything about that area, it gets really cold at night. It gets really hot during the day. It's on trail, so you can't really go that fast. It's not like a road marathon or anything like that. But these two people withstood 100-degree heat yesterday. They start at 5 in the morning Pacific time. And, 14 hours later, you do the math. I mean, you're running a lot during the heat of the day. They really, just incredible endurance. Jim is actually his third time running it. They're both first-time winners, I believe. Jim ran it twice before. Jim has a bit of a philosophy of go out as fast as you can and let the chips fall where they may.
Mm-hmm.
So in his first attempt to do so, he ran as fast as he could, and he veered off course, I think, the first time. He went like 2 miles off course somehow, and when he got back, he just wasn't right and ended up dropping out. And then last year, his stomach just went haywire on him about 78 miles in and could not continue. But on the third try, he won it. And not only did he win it, he broke the course record by 16 minutes. So, and Courtney Dauwalters ran the second fastest Western States endurance run ever on one of the hottest ones. So, hats off to those two people. Just a fantastic effort. Just amazing. 100 miles in a day.
That's insane.
It's crazy. But you should have seen them when they crossed the finish line. They were like fresh as a
like
day.
nothing.
Yeah. Courtney Dauwalters was like, I'm ready to have a beer. I was like, yeah, I'd have a couple dozen. I mean, that's nuts. But anyway, hats off to you two. Good job this weekend. And with that, we've come to the end of episode 23, the Michael Jordan episode. The Michael Jordan episode is done. It's in the books. Hey, my brother was talking earlier about hearing from you guys. If you guys want to email the show, you can do so at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If they want to get a hold of you, my brother, how do they do that?
Like always, don't be a leader, be a follower on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
And for me, you can reach out to me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.